The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios, Kansas City, A Domain Divided. I am the storyteller, at least tonight, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Katerina Rakosi of Clan Zemitzi.
I am Callum McFarlane, Clan Ventru.
Oh, I'll be playing Rashad Giovanni of the Hakata.
Hello, I'm back. I'm House, and I play Bo Solomon of Clan Toreador.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'm playing Gwen Schultz of the Ministry.
I'd like to welcome everybody to episode 4 of this brand new chronicle. What happened last week? Well, Katerina and Gwen went to see Christabella, the counselor of the fold, and met what would be called a not your typical La Sombra. I'll put it that way. While they were meeting with her, Callum and Rashad went to meet with the investigator there. Sorry, the inspector, Victoria, too. I'll talk about Hideo showing up. And the thing about both meetings is both of the groups found the Sabbat are not acting like typical Sabbat. They are acting in a way that they're worried about losses, which is definitely not a normal Sabbat thing. And then in the second half, well, Rashad had a nice vision of blood through his coterie's domain. About the same time as somebody murdered a woman and dropped her drained body off in your little area. And as we open up tonight, it's been a few days since that. Bo is finally in town. He's gotten a bit set up with Callum, but this is going to be the first time Bo has got to get together again with this coterie upon his return. So we're going to open up in the logistics building that they've set up as their group haven. As they've all arrived, and, well, Bo's here.
Good to be home.
It's good to see you, Bo.
How was Milwaukee?
Not Chicago, if you catch my drift.
Okay.
The one in charge seemed to have her shit together much more than leadership, where we were set up.
Well, it's good.
I apologize if I'm a little on edge. I think Callum may be the only one who knows, unless he told you. I'm originally from Kansas City.
Oh.
This is my first time back since I was 18, before, everything happened.
You still have family here?
No. At least I don't think so. I don't know where my brother is.
Do you have any enemies we should be worried about?
Just said I don't know where my brother is.
Dysfunctional families. I know that well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's just say he looks at me more as an enemy than I ever looked at him as an enemy.
Ah. Okay. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out if he's around.
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely not the reunion, or at least the homecoming that I was expecting, but probably bound to happen at some point. So no time like the present.
Callum, have you given him a rundown on the court situation here?
In brief, I figured that once we all got back together, if he had any questions, we would all be here to give input.
Okay.
I'm assuming you all had the same reaction when you heard it was called the HOA.
Oh, I laughed.
Yeah. Okay,
I
we're on the
laughed
same page.
because it's absolutely brilliant, but also
for sure, yes.
it is the best troll ever.
Yes. Okay. Glad that cards are on the table there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah. So yeah, right now the industrial district is under fire. It is openly contested. There is nightly fights going on there. Yeah, we've been approached by a guy named Hideo that is trying, I think, to recruit us for the Sabbat.
Recruit us for somebody.
Or somebody, I don't know. We left him hanging as to whether or not we would agree to even meet with the individuals. And he's going to return at some point.
He's technically the reason why the last group died.
Yeah.
They entered negotiations not in good faith.
They
so
went
they were
as
idiots.
spies.
At the request of the HOA.
So they are not requesting we go as spies.
That's good. Hey, that's wonderful. That is great. Love to hear that.
I think they learned their lesson. So, but yeah, basically, the Sabbat here are acting really weird. Like there's some kind of dysfunction amongst their ranks. And they are also acting like they are fearful of losses. So
how much of an act do we think the act is?
Don't know yet. Haven't had too much interaction yet.
Yeah. I know you haven't been here that long. I get it. Just trying to play catch up.
Yeah, no, but we had one guy drop off a freaking dead body, trying to test us. But
even if it is an act, the act itself is very unsabbat-like.
Yes.
Like that's still more strategy than what's typically given, from my understanding.
What?
There also appears to be a third party playing in the shadows. And there may be a more powerful and older necromancer in the city. Exactly what they're after, we don't know.
I mean, you say third party in the shadows. What's Clan Nosferatu like in these parts?
Unreliable. They have claimed true neutrality, but basically their form of neutrality just means that they are waiting to see who's going to win before they pick a side.
They play both sides.
They're
whatever's
playing
beneficial.
both sides. So they are not reliable at all.
Gwen, any interaction? I know information's kind of your game.
I'm still getting set up. I mean, some of the counselors have their own networks they seem to have developed that I'm hoping potentially to get some leverage into, but all we know is that Elysium is supposed to be a good place to go.
Just my last question. Callum, how's the restaurant coming along?
We had some renovations still going on, so we haven't quite done the soft opening yet, but that's good timing with you being back. But in all the interior is finished, all the staff is up to speed. Your sous chef has gotten everything in the back of the house squared away.
Oh, that's good. Thanks for the warm welcome. Actually, we have another piece of this warm welcome for you. And I pull out a box. It's a spalted cottonwood box about 24 inches long. And I set that down in front of you. I'll take it. Just examine the box. What's this for?
It's got a handle on the front side and a couple of clasps. Like I said, it's your welcome back.
Try not, how people are uncomfortable, like looking, opening gifts in front of people, but like, cautiously out of like anxiousness, not out of like skepticism, open it.
And you'll see when you open it, there is a chef's knife. And I'll put the image in our chat for you. But it's a cottonwood handle, small golden disc inset into the handle, Damascus blade. We had a local craftsman put this together for you. The little golden inlay there is the symbol for garlic coin. Just,
of course, it is.
As an appeal to some of your favorite things in life. Gambling, cryptocurrency, garlic. It's all there for you.
After a blank stare, laugh. This is very generous. Thank you. And he'll open up his like chef's bag, like where he just has his chef's knives, move one around and put it in the first spot. This will certainly get use. Thank you.
Do all chefs carry their knives around like that everywhere?
Ones that are important to me, I do.
Do you ever get questioned?
I mean, I don't go through airport security with it.
Fair. Seems odd. So it's a lot of knives.
Hasn't been a problem yet.
Well, we do need to head out to an Elysia event, and it would be good if you join us, Bo.
Oh, yes, of course. Wherever you go, I'll go.
Okay.
Let's see. Tonight's Elysia event is at the American Jazz Museum here in Kansas City. So, you all pile in a single vehicle now that you're up to your full numbers? Going to take multiple vehicles? What do you want to do?
I would think moving in one vehicle would be best, so we can put the the red thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So you all head over there. As you get in your vehicle, please, everybody, give me your wits awareness. You should know it's coming. It's always coming when you're in a vehicle like that. You know.
I'm gonna browse the blood on that. Oh, I didn't roll mine. Hold on.
Let's see what
I need
everybody got.
willpower.
Oh, all this numbers.
Mm.
Wow, Gwen starts off strong with
What I'm good at.
6. With a
7.
crit.
I willpowered.
7 with a crit. Nice, strong going there. Bo 3. Katarina got 2, 3. Okay. I'm keeping in mind yours, Gwen. I'll be using this for as your trip over there. And as you all head into the city, it's Friday night. You know, your area, as always, not much activity until you get close to the apartments. But as you go deeper into the downtown, that all changes. Especially as to get to the where you're going, you get awful close to the rack. The Crossroads rack. Do you all need a discussion in the car?
Might be a good idea.
Okay, I'll let y'all have a talk in the car. I mean, you are going to your first Group Elysia event.
You all are better equipped for this than I am. Is there anything I should know about Elysia? Do I need to bow to anyone, or I don't know, whatever courtly things the Camarilla does?
Honestly, just the nature of this HOA will we're all probably as equally as equipped.
I don't know if we told you, Bo, but it's not just Camarilla that's at Elysia.
Fantastic. Should be a fun party.
I'm gonna lean on Kat's experience for any of the Sabat interactions.
Like I've ever known Sabat to be in Elysia and not be causing a ruckus.
Is there
There.
do we have an aim going to Elysia? Were we just invited? Is there
No, basically
ulterior-
we're going to kind of scope out to see things, to
Okay.
get information. Because, you know, where we are, we're kind of insulated a little bit because our domain is behind the sheriff. She goes by inspector. Her domain is forward of us, closer to the Sabat holdings. And so basically, you know, we just need to get information. And it's best to go at one that is commonly used by both the tower and the Sabat for like negotiations and stuff, just to see how they're behaving and what they're doing.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you do put on a red armband, though.
Oh, I will say, since we're talking about that, one thing that Bella, she's one of the counselors, Christabella, she told us to call her Bella. There's the possibility that someone on the council is Sabat in hiding.
Yeah.
They aren't sure. So just be aware.
Someone on the HOA?
Mm-hmm.
No guesses as to who?
No.
All right.
Hideo has approached like all of them.
I don't think I'm saying anything that you all haven't discussed, but feels too easy, that something about Hideo just doesn't sound right. But none of this all sounds right, so.
He is a free agent. He is independent. He's a Banu Hakim, and he has a reputation based on merit of upholding the letter of agreements.
Okay.
So they're using him as a broker / negotiator.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
He is
makes
very
sense.
loyal to, I guess, the will of the agreement in the eyes of his
Employer.
thank you, employer
Mhm.
once. So we have yet to figure out who his employer is, but he is likely still acting on their behalf.
I look to Rashad. You and I both have, well, I guess it manifests a little differently, but some form of foresight, let's say. You gotten anything since being here?
A few things. We mentioned earlier that there was a third figure. I received a vision of 3 groups, 3 parties manipulating things from the shadows. They seem to be causing chaos together. I'm not sure if their goal is to make sure that everyone isn't operating effectively, or if it's just in consequence of all 3 operating on the same people. Regardless, I'm confident that at the moment we are in what's the phrase? We are in the eye of the storm. Things will get more chaotic once others realize that there are more people playing this game.
All right.
So as you approach the Jazz Museum, you've never been here in the daylight, of course. Well, maybe Bo was long ago, perhaps, but not since you've been kindred. It's obviously lit up enough that it's clear that it is open. There's a guy at the door that you suspect isn't normally there most nights, or at least most days. Katerina and Gwen, you recognize it's one of the guys from Christabella's gym standing on the door. And there's parking nearby. It's a parking garage, but you pull your car into the parking garage. And as you get close to the building, the guy looks you over, and then his eyes cut to Katerina and Gwen. I know that you're good to come in.
Good to see you again. And we go on.
Thank you.
And as you step in the building, you're greeted, of course, right off by numerous exhibits that go through the history of American jazz. But over it all, in the back of that particular entry area, you see the neon lights from the signs of the old jazz bars, the Hotel Street, cocktails, and that's not up, Todd's Flat Grill, those kind of, there's a bunch of neons in the back. But as you go in and start walking through the area, you're immediately approached by on the shortish side and rather lithe Asian woman. Long black hair. She's wearing jeans that you could almost swear have been pressed. They're so crisp. But a loose-fitting blouse that is a deep maroon color. It's good to see you. I assume you know the rules while you're here?
Of course.
Bo, did you bring your knives in with you?
No.
Just making sure.
No.
I am Setsuko. I am the keeper of Elysia here. And keeper of all the Elysias. Keep the peace. Remember the ban on powers. But tonight, there is only our kind here.
Excellent.
It's not a busy night. But I'm sure. And as she goes and says, I'm sure, you see a figure approaching that all of you have met. Bo, you only met him briefly to announce you were in the city. Manuel is already approaching the group. As I was about to say, before someone ruined the drama, the President Manuel is here tonight.
Excellent.
And she nods to him as he approaches, nods to you all. I'll be circulating if you have any questions or anything. As I said, it's not that busy yet. It might get busier later. But as it stands, there's not many in attendance. And as she walks off, Manuel goes, she always hates when I do that. It's good to see you all again. Mr. Solomon, it is nice to meet you in a less formal place. Have you settled in?
Yes, fortunately, Callum here has allowed me to reside with him in the meantime.
It's good to see that Venture haven't lost their feelings about hospitality. It's good to know.
Of course not.
I'm hoping your friends have got you up to speed on the major points. But since this is the first time I'm meeting you, do you have any questions for me?
You know, I'm still trying to keep my feet under me, Mr. President.
Call me Manuel, please.
Manuel. See, learning already. I think there will be questions in time, but I think my main focus is getting my bearings.
He smiles at you and he reaches his hand out and claps you on the shoulder a little. Hopefully, when you have questions, I have answers. I can't always promise to have them. I do try.
At the very least, I'll have food. And if you ever come by mine and Callum's restaurant,
you'll find I don't eat much anymore, at least not the kind of food you make, which it's actually I find quite fascinating. You don't find many of our kind who are chefs, to be honest. The taste buds dull and you don't really taste food like you used to. It is, not to mention, difficult to keep the food down, which seems to only get more difficult with age. You are somewhat unique in that.
Well, I mean, since you brought it up, that does bring about a question that I don't need answered immediately, but I believe there's a counselor on the HOA. What's the position? Counselor of the Young.
Otto. Yes.
Yes. At some point, I would like to meet Otto.
I'm sure you will at some point. He doesn't attend the Elysia that often, mainly because if there's any members of the Sabbat who attend, they tend to treat him poorly without breaking the rules, of course. They have a very dim opinion on the Thin Bloods.
It's a shame.
Yes.
I promise you my intentions are non-disruptive.
Well, I would hope so. They are a counselor and are rather important to the plans of the city. That's one of the mistakes I think many cities have made, is they're not trying to address the newest incarnation of our kind. They look at Thin Bloods as less than people, whereas I see them as an evolution over time. They are something different. Sure, they have their weaknesses, but they have their strengths as well, especially the ones that can operate in the daylight. They have been invaluable to many events in this city.
And I hope to tap into some of those strengths. And any request I have would certainly be with the respect that someone in his position has both earned and deserves.
Oh, you will find Otto's an interesting one. He is stuffy. Many nights he's around here with, or not here, but his other areas with a monocle and a top hat and a cane and a double-breasted suit. He's very formal in a lot of things he does. but he cares about taking care of those of us that are those that don't get a fair shake in most cities.
I look to Callum and I say, I know the type.
Indeed, we both do.
Well, it's good speaking with you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I know I gave a number to the rest of your group, and you can use that as well if you need to contact me about anything. I have to go and speak with Christabella for a bit. And when I'm done that, I'm sure you'll see me, her, or both of us wandering around.
Manuel, one question.
Yes.
Did I hear correctly in that it is just HOA members here this evening?
At this time, it is, yes. We never know when the Sabbat will show up. They show up normally when they're wishing to cause trouble. They've been very good about not breaking the rules, which would make sense considering the events surrounding the negotiation of Elysia use. I think they are hesitant to break those particular rules, at least not openly. But they do push the spirit of the rules.
Have they ever prodded someone from the HOA to break the rules themselves?
Oh, this is Elysia. Unfortunately, Bo, you'll find our kind like to poke at wounds in an attempt to cause the other to break a rule. It's a status thing in most cities. I try to discourage it here, but unfortunately, there's some behaviors that I just think are innate to our kind that make it very difficult to stop. My advice is to keep firm control of your temper.
Any particular troublemaker we should be aware of?
Oh, you'll know her if you see her. I can't promise what she'll look like, but you'll know her if you see her. But please, I have to go speak with Christabella. She had some important information I need. So I will speak with you all later. And he turns, and instead of heading towards where you can hear at least some music coming, a room it actually says jazz bar over the neon sign jazz bar over the room. He heads down a corridor to his left where there seems to be a couple dozen closed doors. So do you all head to where you see the people, or do you just wander the exhibit area?
I think Kat is going to go to the jazz bar to hear the music.
Okay.
Gwen's gonna people watch.
There's only one room to really see people, because not many people just want to stand in the exhibit area. They've probably seen it before.
Yep.
If everyone's going there, or most are heading that direction, Bo will. But if anyone is inclined to go to the exhibits, Bo would be curious about the exhibits.
Yeah, I would want to make a lap around the exhibits before we head to listen to the music.
Well, Rashad is going to see if he can find the treasurer.
Okay. So you wandering around looking for the treasure. You all check the exhibit. Katerina, you go in the back, in that back room. Right now, in the back room that you see, along with the music, there's a woman sitting at one of the bar stools. There's no bar here, but there are bar stools. There's a mixing table, because apparently they do live performances sometimes during the day. Music is coming through a sound system right now, but she's sitting on the bar stool by one of the corners. She's got short red hair. She's wearing a long skirt. Her shirt is actually a t-shirt of all things. The t-shirt, it says Slayer on it, which is a very odd thing to see in Elysia. And she's just kind of leaning back. Her eyes appear closed at the moment. She seems to be listening to the music. Rashad, you wander around. So far, you see, it's going to take me a while to remember all my names here. You do see Setsuko on the phone in one corner, sitting in the exhibit area, but you don't see anybody else. They may be in the back rooms, in the private meeting rooms. That's all you see right now, wandering the place. Katerina, do you just take a seat in there? Or do you approach the woman?
I'm not going to approach the woman. I'm just going to find a seat and just kind of look around the room to see what all's in there and, just kind of enjoy the music a bit before ruckus starts happening.
Okay, so the rest of you...
Pat already knows what to expect here.
The rest of you wander through the exhibits. I mean, it's going through all the history of jazz in America. And then as you step into the room and you all notice same woman sitting in the corner. Now, Gwen, you had an awful lot of successes. You notice though her head is back, she appears to be listening to the music. You catch the unmistakable look of someone with their eyes slitted, watching without appearing to be watching. They have very good control over their eye movements. Their eyes are not shifting like they're following people coming in the room, but those eyes are definitely not fully closed.
Gwen will give her a nod, but won't say anything about it, but kind of tip that she noticed.
Okay. And you all see just the slightest smile appear on this woman's face as her eyes open up. And she stands and walks over to, I assume you all are heading towards where Katerina was, so she walks over to the group. Most impressive. I like it. Not many people catch me doing that. And you would be, I don't know your name yet.
Gwen Schultz.
Gwen, yes. Manuel has told me a bit about all of you all. I am Tanya Fuller. You can I'm the VP, but just call me Tanya.
Pleasure, Tanya. I'm Katerina Rakosi.
Rakosi. I've heard that name before. That is a name with a lot of history behind it.
It is.
And the rest of you?
I am Rashad Giovanni.
Now, there's a name with even more history behind it. Most interesting.
I'm Bo Solomon.
Newly arrived. I remember that from my day planner.
Callum McFarlane, at your service.
Callum McFarlane. You're opening up that restaurant, are you not?
Yes, we are.
I'm glad to hear it. We don't get a lot of our kind that open restaurants around here. Unless you happen to be Madeline, not a lot of us are opening businesses. We tend to manage already established businesses.
In Chicago, it proved to be a wealth of information.
Oh, I bet. I go a different route. I represent a couple bands, set up venues for them, arrange for their performances in bars, depending on the type of band. It gets me a feeling on the pulse of the nightlife, you might say. You'll be amazed how much roadies talk. Even small bands, once they hit a certain size, they have their hangers on that do love to share secrets. So how are you enjoying our city?
It is interesting.
That's one way to put it. It's a bloody war zone, but
yes, it is.
I hope everything's been going fine on your end. You haven't had any trouble yet?
Not really. I think they wanted to test us a little bit, but...
Oh, they have tested you. Victoria told me that you had a meeting from Mr. Hideo.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a bit off-putting.
Yeah.
Polite little bugger, isn't he?
Exceptionally so.
Yeah, that bothered me a bit.
Yeah.
Have you interacted with him much?
Oh, he came by to make me a silly offer. What could the Sabbat offer me that Manuel hasn't already given me? I am Kaitif, and yet I'm the VP of this HOA. You might say that I've been given a good deal.
When she says that, could I use kindred iconography to see if she's displaying anything? What clan?
Yeah,
She
I
may
will
have
let you
been-
roll. That is a very useful thing of kindred iconography. I want you to roll this because I know what she may have on her. It wouldn't actually be intelligence. I will let you roll wits streetwise on this one. Two successes. Are you going to willpower that?
Yeah, I'll
You
willpower.
willpower two of the dice. Let's see what you get.
And
You should be able to hit the SP button next to willpower on your sheet. Hopefully it'll work.
oh, okay.
As long as you
There we
haven't
go.
done anything else yet.
And select 2 of the blank ones.
Yep. Then
Yep.
you can select 2
Yep.
blank ones. 3. Something. You don't know what the symbol is. You can't figure out what it means. But the pattern, the wear pattern on the Slayer t-shirt she's wearing, where the Slayer logo, where where it was imprinted on it, it's worn away in spots that make a symbol of some kind, but you can't quite make the symbol out.
Okay.
I do hope you have a great experience in our city. We always welcome new people in here. We're trying to make something of it, something new, something we haven't seen probably ever, unless you believe some of the old stories told by some of those Bruja. I don't know how much I put stock in some of their stories. They make everything seem like it was always better in the good old days. And we know that's not quite how this works.
It's not like it matters. We're not there anymore.
That's true too. And that's the one thing I find the most difficult to deal with is just how rooted everybody seems to be in what was, not what should be, not the future.
I tend to be rooted in what is.
That's very important. I look always more to the future. It's not always about what is, it's what can be, what we can do, what we can achieve. And Manuel's been very good to help me with that. Manuel is definitely forward thinking on that. He's hoping to make this city something, well, the sum of it better than the parts, you might say.
And that people are often trying too hard to hide their past to focus thinking beyond it.
That's true. Many of our kind have, a lot of them have reasons to hide what they were. I know everyone has their skeletons in the closet. Of course. One thing I've learned about Manuel is he's very good at peeking into those closets and finding out what you've got going on. Thankfully, he never uses it against people. He uses it to find ways to better them, which I think is, well, commendable. I've dealt with a few of his kind that would not be so generous.
I wonder how he does it.
He is unique. He's also, as far as I know, the oldest one of us here. The only one who comes close is a friend of his. You may meet them in time. They are a bit of a recluse and they don't come to these events often, for sure.
Does that friend happen to be a dragon of sorts?
That is a name that some of our attendees that show up here probably would not like to hear, but it is the name that they've used more often than not. Even seems to have a tattoo on his back of one. Must have gotten it beforehand. As far as I'm aware, our kind don't keep tattoos.
I've heard there is a way, though. There was one in Chicago that was able to do it.
Oh, I've heard there's a way too. Setsuko told me she knew how to, she had learned how to brand.
Oh, well, it wasn't branding. It was actually
Yeah.
tattoos.
Thankfully, we don't use that barbaric practice in the city.
Good.
I'm pretty sure, well, myself, I would be upset at it because not too long ago, my clan was branded. And of course, Otto would be very upset if someone started to try to brand his people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. And she stops for a minute. She kind of cocks her head and she looks off into nothing. Oh, damn. I'm going to have to step away from you all. Manuel wants me. So
It was a pleasure.
it's a pleasure to meet you all. And so she steps out of the room and you can hear the way her footsteps fade off into the music, leaving you all alone for the moment in this jazz room where you're free to talk.
Was Gwen able to pick up on any particular way that he was able to get her attention?
The way her eyes looked off, it had to be a way that you couldn't have heard for sure.
Okay.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to
So-
think of her.
I like her.
I didn't get a
Wasn't
negative
aware-
impression.
She
Yeah,
keeps her
sure.
cards close to her chest, I feel.
Very much so.
But I guess we all do in a way.
And I know the obvious hesitance to talk in a place that you don't know if it's monitored in some way. So you settle to listen to the music. And then you hear I see that fools manage to attract new blood. And the voice is a woman's voice. Not as high-pitched as some women's. And as you turn to look at in the entranceway, there's a woman. She's got long blonde hair. She's wearing a white dress that, well, shows off every single curve of her body. And she has quite a number of them in all the right spots. And she's smiling a predator smile at the lot of you. New blood, I see. You've been convinced to join this fool's errand?
I suppose so.
Be careful. I'd hate to find out the same thing happened to you that happened to the last group. They were humiliated, embarrassed, and then destroyed. That sends to happen to those who oppose my friends and all. And as she walks closer, every movement she makes, it's obvious that she is selling seduction. May I introduce myself? You can call me Bishop Becky. Who do I have the pleasure, and that feral grin comes right back, of speaking with tonight?
Has to be a Xantosa.
You know your families.
Katerina Rakosi.
Rakosi, you say?
Yeah, seen my brother?
Well, well, well. It is a small fucking world, isn't it? I am sure I know of at least a few people who will be very interesting or interested too. To know that you're here. Wow. I was hesitant to come here tonight. And then something told me perhaps I should make an appearance to see what shit I can stir up. And look if I didn't find, well, a big stick to use to stir with.
Have fun with that.
Oh, I will. Trust me, I will. Wow, this is going to be an interesting night for me. I'm sure. Oh, it'll be interesting for you in the later nights, I'm sure. And who are your friends?
I'll be waiting.
I'm sure you will. Come now, I've introduced myself. You might as well introduce yourselves. This is Elysia. Doesn't the tower say we're supposed to be pleasant to each other and not murder and kill and fight over everything? This is the only place we can talk as relative
I'm
equals.
Rashad. I am Rashad. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you, Rashad.
When?
Gwen. Nice short name to the point.
Bishop Becky, you may call me Chef Bo.
A chef. I knew a chef once. Beautiful little man. It was rather amusing to watch him carve himself up with his own knives. Maybe at some point I'll have you prepare something for me.
Now you just said this is Elysia.
Well, yes. I wouldn't dare to do anything I'm not supposed to here. And who is your last friend, the silent one?
I'll step up and just step slightly into her space and take her hand if she allows me to.
She lets you. There's not a sign of calluses. Her skin is perfectly smooth.
Okay. And I'll bend down, kiss her hand, and say, the pleasure is mine. Callum McFarlane.
Callum McFarlane. Wow. Manners. I'll be honest, I don't get to see a lot of those on my side of things. We're not known for pleasant manners. I do appreciate it. So, should we do the small talk? How are you enjoying your time here? How's the weather been? Eaten any good mortals lately? Should we cut to the chase? I don't know how you all... I tend to not avoid your types much unless I'm murdering them or putting them in a trap. Oh, and there was that time we raided the Tremere Chantry. But none of those apply here tonight.
You may speak freely.
So how are you enjoying our city then? I guess we'll do the inane small babble.
It's been fun so far.
It's a lovely little war zone.
Well, never fear. We're going to continue to expand our operations, and eventually in time we will run you completely out of this side. You can have the Kansas side. I'm sure you and the Anarchs will get along perfectly fine.
Right.
Or not. I don't really care what you do to them. Anarchs have always been little piss ants anyway.
I do love the projection of confidence and bravado.
Well, I'm always confident. They haven't gotten me yet.
Same.
Well, that may be temporary.
Like I said, I'll be waiting.
I have been in the company of a child of Tally, an acolyte of Tally. I have been in the presence of monsters, and I have been in the presence of greatness in my time, and I've survived it all. So I guess, yes, I have confidence, but it is deserved confidence. It is earned confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you're going to find that out because, well, aren't you the enemy?
I don't know, considering someone's trying to recruit us.
Is that so? And who would that be?
Don't know yet.
I'm sure whoever it is has bad intentions.
I'm sure.
They always do. I mean, if I come to you and ask you to join us, would you trust me?
A Xanthosa? Hell no.
Trust you to be looking out for yourself just like any of us.
Just like if I came to you tomorrow and said, I would like you to speak to Manuel and explain to him, I'd like to switch sides. After what I've done, that would be a very short change now, wouldn't it? Hell, after what I know, I'm sure there's not a place a hole deep enough you could bury me to keep me from being stopped of sharing anything.
Mm.
You know, both sides, we have our rules just as you do. I think the term is snitches get stitches.
Mm. Perhaps you should talk to your
Any
leadership
human.
and find out who's trying to recruit us.
It's not my problem. That's their problem. They make the decisions and they decide what to tell me and what's important. Rest assured, we are unified in our beliefs about taking the city, no matter who tells who what.
Mm.
The nice thing about the leadership is I've been given a free rein to handle things my way. And so far, I've been handling it quite well.
Could I do a bullshit check?
Of course you can. That is going to be for you, wits, insight. That is the default way to do bullshit checks.
Can
And I'm going to roll against you. This is the opposed roll. So let's see
I
what I
want to
get.
do one too?
Of course you can.
Is there any case I could make for investigation with deduction?
What would you be trying to deduct? If you can tell me what you're deducting, sure.
Just like what's hidden behind what she's saying.
I will let you roll that then. I'm very, lenient on that one. Kat got 2. Not Kat's night for rolls so
No,
far.
it's really not.
Bo got 5. Gwen has 6.
Hold on.
With a crit, no less. Damn. Now we know who stole all the good rolls tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute.
Still 1.
8 now.
Yeah.
With a crit. 8 successes with a crit. Damn, you definitely beat her roll. She had 5 successes on her subterfuge roll on this. So, I will tell you, she definitely knows who tried to recruit you. That was just a bald-faced lie coming from her. And she was quite honest that if she switched sides, they would bury her. There was an edge of fear in the way she said it. Just the thought of betraying her side. She knows that is a dead-end street for her.
Bishop Becky, if
Yes.
you're so confident, why are you lying to us about who recruited us or who tried to anyway?
Very good. Very good. I'm lying because this is Elysia. I don't know who's listening. Plus, why would I tell you shit? What incentive do I have to give you any information on anything going on in this city? The longer you're clueless, well, the longer I can continue to ring circles around you. And I have bad news for you. It seems, dear Gwen, you're going to stay clueless for a very long time.
If you need to keep us clueless, that means that you're not as confident as you like to project.
That part right there.
Well, you'll just have to rest assured that I'm not going anywhere. Not what you can do to touch me. And
don't want to.
There's things in this city that are worse than I am. There's things in this city that are not right. And I'm saying this, not you. And you'll find out in time, or you won't. We'll see. Embraced any children lately? Clueless. You'll find out. And now, I think I'm going to go taunt Sasuko for a few minutes. It is always fun tormenting the only Tremere in the city. At least, the only on your side.
For now.
For now. You have confidence as well. Have you done things to earn it?
Just open to the possibilities. She may be the only one for now. As when we get more, we may lose her.
And she reaches a hand out and actually runs it down your cheek. I bet you are open to possibilities. We'll see. And then she gets that feral grin as she turns and walks out of the room.
Bishop Becky, before you leave.
Yes.
I'll reach into my jacket and I'll pull out one of those leather challenge coin wallets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll pull out what looks like a gold tinted coin and I'll hand it to her. If you ever find your way to the restaurant, just show this to the maitre d' and we'll take good care of you. You ever want to take a break, enjoy the hospitality of a new venture in the city?
You are actually going to invite me to a restaurant. I would suggest you ask a member of this court. I don't give a shit what they call themselves. They are a court. What happened the last time I sat down in that kind of place with members of the tower? It was a bit of a bloody mess, you might say. But
didn't that happen
regardless
if you were invited or not?
You could. I will say, Callum, it is refreshing to see just this much competence in somebody, or not competence, confidence, that you're willing to tell me your business. I already knew, but you'll find not many around here want to reveal jack shit about anything.
Well, there's, I figure there's not much information that would escape your notice. And I honor the old ways. Just wanted to extend the hospitality. And I'm still holding the coin out.
She takes it, and because you're so refreshing, not only in your manners, but actually inviting me, of all people, I will wait a month before we attack your place.
Now, when you come, I will expect you to stay for the whole experience.
1 month from tonight, on the hour, 11:32.
Very well. I'll put you in the reservation book.
Yes. Make sure you note it is going to be a large party. And she smiles and turns and walks out of the room. She took your coin.
Okay.
A large party that they can't control well because they can't force them to bond.
Mm-hmm.
She left before I could get my dig in. Damn.
Oh.
That's okay.
I'll hand each of you one of these coins. I got them made by the same place that made Bo's knife.
Mm.
And it is that garlic coin symbol on all of them. And I don't know all the exact mechanics of how the Tremere do what they do, but at least Becky now has an item that we know that she may have on her.
Very effective.
I was going to say we've seen her face. I've heard that's necessary, but she changes it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I
I
feel
must
like
admit she is much more refreshing than what I was expecting. Not as, I don't know, frightening as people bring, like to speak of of your group, Katerina. I was expecting something more out there.
She's vain.
that's what I was.
Awesome.
I don't doubt she has the experience that she reports. I don't doubt she is a decorated vet. But she's vain. And that's her weakness.
There are also things in the city that she is afraid of.
Also didn't seem to know who I was, which is interesting. If there is a necromancer on her side, then either they aren't working together or they are someone who doesn't want to kill me, which is fun.
She doesn't seem like the type to really ask questions beyond what she needs to know. Kind of thinks she's the center of the world, it seems.
And I gave her more than she expected.
That arrogance is probably something we'll be able to use against her later.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're talking, a woman walks in. She's short, squat, wide in body.
Is it Bella?
Yep.
Okay.
Short cropped blonde hair, shaved on both sides. Tonight, well, you'd almost think she's Bruja by the leather jacket and the leather pants. And the leather pants, they're showing, they're tight enough you can see. Her legs are definitely as wide as the rest of her. You can see the knotted muscle. And you've seen enough Kindred to know that Kindred don't build muscle after embrace. This is what she was like when she was embraced. And she comes stepping in the room. Nice to see you all again. I hope the crazy bitch out there didn't bother you too much.
Nah.
She's pestering Satsuko right now.
Nothing we
Thought she
couldn't
was
handle.
pleasant.
Me. She touched me.
She touched you. You do know to be careful when one of our kind touches you, right?
I didn't really see it coming.
Mm.
Yes, I've heard.
Well, hopefully she doesn't have the ability to pull you towards her.
Yeah.
That can be a hope. I haven't seen her do that yet, but we haven't seen a lot of what that crazy bitch is capable of. I've known enough of her kind. I don't put anything past her. I don't put anything in front of her either, actually, to be honest, except I'd love to put my fist in her way, but we'll get to that at some point. I actually came in here after speaking with Manuel. We had a talk and we agreed. You're looking to show your abilities and willingness to help the city. Correct?
Of course.
Yes.
There's an individual I'd like you all, I'll be getting with you a day or two once I arrange things to meet with. It is an individual who is, and she leans close, discussing whether to change sides. He says there's conditions. He needs help with a problem, which leads me to the discussion I had with Manuel, which is if you all can help him with his problem and convince him to change sides, he might be a good source of information about what is going on over there.
What's the problem?
He didn't say, and that's why I'm going to be blunt and honest with you. I'm going to use you all as the middlemen, as the cutout. No use hiding it. No use talking around it. You're new. You're unproven. This is a chance for you to prove yourself to Manuel and the rest of the counselors. And at the same time, it insulates us from direct attack. And it lets us see how you operate and your judgment on things.
Are you
I was-
leaving the decision on if they can join up to us, or has that already been decided?
Well, we would prefer they join. Any information they can give us is very valuable. I do understand that it is possible there's the problem could be something that we can't solve, that you can't solve, that we wouldn't want to solve, but we need to make the attempt. If we turn away people who come to us wanting to join us, we're never going to get any to join us. We need to at least show that we are willing to work with individuals. I'm sure you understand it's all the cards on the table here. It's for our protection, Manuel and I, and also, as I said, it's a way to show us what you can do. And you pull
Have
it
you
off.
ever turned anyone away?
We haven't turned anyone away yet. We've only had, well, none approach us. I've tried. So the fact that one is willing, now that doesn't mean we're going to trust them, of course, which is also why you're involved. We don't want to have the meeting with any of the counselors or Manuel himself at this time, because we need to make sure that this isn't a setup. That's why it's going to be a few days. I want to make sure that I do my homework before I set up a meeting. I want to make sure the meeting is somewhere that I can at least do my due diligence when it comes to protecting your safety. You're not being cast aside. You're not being used, at least not in the traditional sense. You have the option to say no. We won't hold it against you, but this is the perfect chance for you to show us what you got.
Do you know their clan?
Yes, I do know their clan. They are somewhat of rarity amongst the Sabbat. They are Ventru, which is what makes it interesting to us. I won't ask for your decision now.
We'll do it.
We
I
thank
am
you.
curious.
We will lend what assistance we can. If you need anything regarding it, let me know. I will let you know in a day or two.
Just let us know what your research turns up.
I will. And if what I can find doesn't smell right, if it doesn't pass the smell test, I will make sure that, well, we still want to do the meeting, but we'll make sure that whatever they have planned, we can handle.
All right.
If there's any research you need us to do, I'm more than willing to help how we can.
There's nothing with this particular one unless you have a bunch of contacts in the Sabbat.
Unfortunately, no.
Fortunately not.
We have that problem. Well, most of us have that problem. Victoria always seems to get timely info.
Have to learn her secrets, son.
Everyone around here knows her secrets. She's got an army of daywalkers. Problem is, we don't know who they are. I swear, if I hear Otto one more time talk about using his people as her secret police, I think I'm going to deck him, knock that monocle out of his eye. I'm a little blunt, in case you haven't figured it out. You know,
That's what I like so much about you.
when you have a hammer, everything's a nail, right?
Yeah.
So and she holds her hand, and both of her hands are, I mean, they're the size of a ham hock bone. And all I've got is 2 hammers. So I tend to use them in that way. Who's this one? I haven't met your friends Gwen and Katerina. I've met you. I've been totally remiss. See, I get so focused on things that I forget the pleasantry part that we're supposed to be doing in this god-awful fucking place. I am Christabella Black. I am the counselor of the Fold, Clan La Sombra, bodybuilder, boxer, MMA fighter, killer of people, ass kicker of kindred. That's what got me embraced. Funny story, we'll go into it at some point. And generally just a badass bitch, according to a lot of people. Who are you?
I am Mashal Giovanni.
Giovanni. I don't see many of your kind here. Interesting. I've known a couple in my time.
Bo Solomon. I'm new in town.
Bo Solomon. Name doesn't ring any bells. I haven't been filled in on you yet, but it's nice to meet you.
And Callum McFarlane.
You run a restaurant, right?
Yes.
Victoria told me that you'd said we can use it if we have a council meeting at some point.
Absolutely.
We tend to not gather everybody in one place often because tempting target and all that.
Yeah. But Bo and I are actually partners in the same restaurant.
Oh, now see, that's interesting.
I will say, since we're on the topic, I did. Our lovely friend Becky did say that she was going to visit Callum's restaurant in a month. Very large party, just so you're aware for potential ass-kicking opportunities.
Yeah, so she's going to attempt to burn it down or murder a bunch of people or blow it up or crash a car through it. She's done that. Or that covers most of them. She still hasn't gotten the act of God part down yet, so we haven't had a meteor strike. So that's good.
Well, I upset our contractors because they're currently reinforcing the building with rebar.
That's a smart idea. I guess she won't. That car will be useless if she goes with that route again. You know, she's kind of funny. She's about as subtle as a brick to the forehead. Not as blunt as I am about things, but subtleties. I mean, look at her.
I know.
Prancing around like that. It's not like.
Her vanity is astounding.
You know what they say? Don't judge a book by a cover, but you can tell how much it's going to cost, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her price tag. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm so obsessed with killing things. It's a bit dull.
how else do you prove yourself in society? We are killers by nature. We are predators by nature. The best way to prove yourself and to strive to be better is to be the better killer, the better fighter. That is why everyone knows where my domain is. I welcome all challengers anytime they feel uppity. They can come and jump, and I will hit them so hard they go back to being tadpole again for a while. It seems to work well. Isn't that survival of the fittest? Isn't that what we're supposed to be as predators? I mean, everyone has their own opinions, but, you know, everyone tells me it's the curse of my clan, and I try to explain to them, I've always strived to be the best at what I am, at what I can be. You think I look like this out of laziness? This was striving to be the best. There's many a man I could take in the ring. Too bad the rules wouldn't let us do cross-gender boxing, because that would have been nice. I could have beat more than one of them's ass.
Being the best or the worst, death comes for you all the same.
Yeah.
I
If
can
you
appreciate
please,
wanting to be the best.
if you please, I would like to avoid the death part for at least a few more centuries. At least a few. A dozen centuries or so, at least. That'd be nice.
Fortunately, there are a lot of ways to cause problems in life without physical violence, too.
There are. I'll leave that up to you. Maybe your friends here. I don't know enough about you all to know about that. You all do the subtle, the sneaky. And then when you're ready to have the Mack truck blow through the building, let me know. And I'll be ready to yell, "Oh yeah," like the Kool-Aid man and come through the wall and beat the shit out of people for you.
I mean, I'll be ready for that in 30 days.
I will make sure that you have assistance. And we will see if we can dissuade them from being too hasty.
Well, if you accomplish that, I at least will be in your debt.
It's not about debt. It's about they need to learn their position in the city. They may claim this city, but the only thing they control is a part of it. And you know, if they want to hold their portion, they can. I don't give a shit. This part, well, you know what they say about controlling land. Whoever's standing on it holds it.
Mhm.
They ain't knocked us over yet. If I have my way, they're not going to. Let them keep the shit edge of town.
Hey, Bella, if you ever want somebody to go with you to knock some skulls around, let me know.
Oh, I appreciate that offer. I will let you know. Maybe you and I will go one night and work the industrial section on the north side down by the river. It's always fun wandering through there and seeing what you can stir up. You know, it's funny when you go in there and you turn the light on, the cockroaches scurry.
I bet.
And then when you turn the light off, well, that's where my kind live.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice meeting the rest of you. I'm sure we will be, I'm not going to say good friends. I'm sure we will have a healthy respect for each other.
Of course.
As it should be.
And she turns, and as she's walking from the room, Becky's coming back in, except you see Christabella doesn't move. Christabella just kind of walks through Becky, knocking her aside with sheer bulk. And you hear Becky, just petty. That's awful petty of you. And you know, what is it with her type? And she's looking at you all. We could have been pleasant-ish. Isn't that supposed to be a masquerade violation? Wasn't I assaulted?
Sure,
Legally,
she
no.
saw you.
I didn't see anything.
You're learning just like the rest of them. I am glad our kind don't bruise.
It's not like you couldn't fix that anyway.
I could, but it's so ugly to see, even for that short term.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of ugly, I just came in to let you all know I'll be seeing you in 30 days. And Katerina, I will say hello to someone I'm sure who's going to want to meet with you.
Yes, I'm sure Rurik's aware that we have unfinished business.
He doesn't go by that name anymore.
I don't care.
I'm sure you don't.
Curious. What does it go by?
It's not important. That doesn't matter.
I know who he really is.
And I'm sure he's going to tell me all about you when I bring it up.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Other than the last 20 years that he hasn't been around me.
You know, that is the nice thing about our kind. We have a very long time to ruminate on what happens when we finally get hold of someone that we wanted to get hold of.
Absolutely. It has filled my thoughts every night.
Never as long as people think it is.
And sure, her body kind of shudders and she gets like this giggle. I'm sure you have thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to let you all know that I am out of here. I've had my fun tonight. And as I said, I have someone to go speak with. Do be safe. Make sure your armbands are clearly on display as you leave here. I wouldn't want any unfortunate accidents to befall you all before I am ready. Bye-bye. And she turns and leaves the room. And
It was less impressive the second time.
Man, I thought my kind were vain.
There wasn't even any new information with that.
She just likes the sound of her own voice.
Oh, no, she just came by to threaten me. That's all.
But she'd already done that.
I know. It loses effectiveness if it's repeated.
You know, having to repeat it shows that you aren't confident it's going to happen.
I know. She thinks she's gloating, but I see through her bullshit. And she thinks I should fear my brother, and I never have.
And it's at this point, Tanya comes back in the room. And when she comes in the room, her head darts left and right. And she looks at you all. Did the cunt leave?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was hoping to miss seeing her. I didn't want to run into her. Thank God.
Lucky you.
I know, right? Almost like I planned it that way, but I didn't.
Mm.
Whew. She is so tedious sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know, she's
very redundant.
you know, she's like one of those gold-plated rings. They look real nice when you first get them.
But they turn your finger green.
But once you've had them around a while, the gold wears off and you realize underneath it's just garbage metal. Sorry I had to run so quick. Manuel needed me to speak with him and Christabella. You know, running an HOA like this, there's always something popping up. I hope she didn't disturb you too much.
I found it pleasant.
While I have you here, she pulls out a card. Let me write on this. And she writes on the back of it. And there's an address on it. Concert next week. If you want to come see it. Small venue, private kind of a thing, private affair. Only going to be about 100 people there. But if you'd like to come, I don't know if you like, you know, it's kind of a fusion metal rap. I've got a real talented guy that he raps to metal beat.
Sounds unique.
It's a new thing, and it's always looking for something new. These days, you either sound like everybody else on the radio or you try something different. And this is local boys made it slightly bigger than small time. A regional thing, you might say.
And we appreciate the invitation.
So feel free to come. Just show that card. They recognize my writing on the back. They'll let you right in. But I've got to run now. I've got HOA things to do. I've got to go collect some dues, I guess you might say. You know, check on the property, make sure nobody's violated any of the rules too.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you can call me Karen tonight, apparently.
Because everybody hates the HOA.
Oh, everyone does. It's
And I
rather
think
amusing.
Becky has the name Karen for the night personally.
Yeah.
I think that's a disservice to Karens. But oh well.
Mhm.
I'm just glad I missed her. Again. Yeah. And she's, I'll see you all later. It's nice meeting you all. If you need me, just the number Manuel gave you will work. It all goes through me anyway. So unless he answers the phone, it's going through me. The man's a great prince, but he's shit with schedules. Absolute nightmare with schedules. So,
Alrighty.
you know how that gets.
Yeah. Well, Tanya, you have a good night.
You have a good night as well. I'll be honest, I don't think you're going to see many others here coming tonight.
No, we'll be leaving shortly.
That might give a chance for Satsuko to close up, go handle her shit somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where she does. I know we don't have a chantry, so she's not exactly going there. So, oh well, it's nice meeting you all. I've got to run. And she turns and kind of walks out of the room. You notice she's actually wearing tennis shoes to boot with everything else. Obviously, she spends a lot of time on her feet and dresses pretty casual. And I turn it over to you all. Do you all stay in Leezy, or do you time to make your exit?
I think we're going to make our exit.
Okay. And so as you head out.
Do we see Setsuko on the way out?
Yes. She is standing in the entry area amongst the jazz history exhibits. And as you walk over, she smiles at you. It's good to see at least somebody here is pleasant.
Well, I just wanted to give you one of these, and I hand her one of the coins. And I say, I gave one of these to Becky. I don't know if that will help you or not. These are just something we use for VIPs, or going to be using for VIPs for the restaurant. But Becky also has one. It was in the same pocket as this one, and I hand her that one.
And she takes it from you, but you notice she's very careful that as she takes it from you, she doesn't touch you at all.
Okay.
She very carefully grabs it in a way that she never makes contact with you. Mm-hmm. I will see what I can do. I am not like a lot of my clan. I never had the benefit of working under the pyramid or any of the others. I've had to learn everything my way. So
I thought if anyone could make use of it, it might be you.
I will see what I can figure out. I'm sure I'll come up with something.
I will also say that Becky did touch both myself and Callum. Mm-hmm. If that would be of any use to you.
It'd be useful for you to be careful.
Obviously.
Don't let her touch you.
It happened before I knew what was going on. I can't say for Callum. Callum.
Yeah, I actually initiated that. So
you, sir, are quite brave. Thankfully, her clan is not known for those kind of arts. At least not mainly. I'm sure you'll be fine. I hope.
All part of the learning process.
It is, isn't it? Every day is about learning. I learn something new every day.
If we're not fine.
You can get 10 pounds of shit into a 5-pound dress. I'm sorry, this is Elysia. I'm supposed to have decorum. I'm supposed to be above all that, but I'm not. In case you haven't figured it out, Manuel looks for certain traits in those who get promoted in the HOA.
I see that.
He likes
sassy is a requirement.
Willing to speak their mind.
Good.
He doesn't like yes men or yes women. He doesn't like yes people. He's not into blowing smoke up his ass. He is into say what you feel, say how you feel it. And then we can move forward from there.
It's a good way to lead.
Well, it is. We'll see how effective it is long term. I have my own questions about whether our kind can truly
exist how he imagines.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is a visionary and a dreamer. And
Not certain he's looking at all the realities.
I pray that reality stays away from him. Thankfully, he happens to be of the one group that seems very good at avoiding reality.
That's true.
So, are you leaving for the night?
We are heading out.
Well,
We don't want to keep you here too long.
that's good. I come here at the start of most evenings, and then if there's nothing going on, I may not be at this one. I'll go to a different Elysia each time. But you can rest assured, even if you don't see me there, somebody is watching.
Of course.
We make sure that nobody breaks the rules. Christabella's one of her boys out front. He's not one of our kind, but he's still quite skilled at manhandling most people.
Mm-hmm.
Even our kind, provided they aren't too lethal. And I'll be fair, I feel sorry for anyone who managed to beat up one of her boys. I don't think she'd take it well.
No.
She is a bit of a brute.
Just a wee bit. But she's fun.
Oh, she is. Quite useful. Quite handy. And she draws a lot of attention to her, which helps the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good meeting you all. I'm sure we'll have lots of time to meet in the future. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe you'll get some boons somewhere in all this. You'll find there's some boon trade in the city, but we're in that kind of a state where we're not doing a lot of that. Wartime and all, it's kind of hard to claim boons when it's survival.
It's mutual survival.
Yeah. Yeah, it means really all I have to do is make sure the Elysias are kept up. Thankfully, the counselor of finance makes sure that each of the Elysias are well funded.
Good.
So,
Good.
yes.
Suzuka, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, and it's nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for not breaking the rules by punching that bitch in the face. You do know if somehow her dress gets torn next time she's here, that's not officially against the rules, right?
Oh, I do know.
Okay.
It was an accident.
Yes. If you happen to
didn't
be
see
wearing
anything.
something that has sharp edges and it snags her dress as you walk by. Meh.
I mean, 10 pounds in a 5-pound dress, things rip.
Yes, they do, don't they? It's funny how that happens. But I didn't say any of that. I'm above all this, right?
Of course.
Yes.
I didn't see anything.
I didn't hear a thing.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, you all have a good evening.
And we head out.
And as you go out and you return to your vehicle, sitting on the top of the vehicle is that coin Callum gave to Becky. It's laying right on top of the vehicle.
Okay. I'll pull out a handkerchief, grab the coin, and chuck it down the nearest sewer well.
And
Sewer.
we
opening.
are quite a bit overdue for break, so we're going to go to break right here as you all get in the car.
Okay.
You'll have a talk when you get back in the vehicle because we're overdue
Okay.
for a break, and I know some people probably need a restroom break. So we will see everybody in 10 minutes. Enjoy the amazing music by Carlene, who is a great person who lets us use her music in our stream. Much love to Carlene. So see you after 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, they did something you don't get to see often in a Shanky game. Elysia, where they met a few more people. They got to meet the vice president of the board, Sinshaw in many cities, Tanya Fuller, the Kaitif. And they got to meet the keeper, who's called the treasurer in this particular city. Setsuko. Setsuko is a Tremere, though by her statements, she has not been trained by the pyramid at all, which might raise interesting questions. And of course, I'm glossing over the fact that they met Becky. Becky with the good hair, bad everything else. Good hair and bad attitude. How about we go with that? And as they left Elysia, they found a coin on the car left behind, in which Callum used a handkerchief to pick it up and chuck it into the storm drain. And as you're getting in the car to leave, Rashad, you notice there's something odd where the hood in the front hood area, up under where the air vents are of the car, there's a slight glow.
Go and check it out. You all should step back just to be safe.
We do.
There's a small, you'd probably put it at about, I don't know, it's small enough to fit in your hand, about the size of your thumb, piece of jasper that's lightly glowing stuck in the air vent. You know the glow is blood sorcery related for sure.
Would I be able to guess on what it would do based on what I know about Jasper and rumored qualities of
You
stone?
can go
and all that?
intelligence, occult. Go ahead. If anyone wants to roll, as soon as he points it out, anyone can roll intelligence, occult if they have any.
On the search.
We'll see what people get. Whoa, shit. God damn, Rashad.
Goodness. I really like Jasper.
9
It's my
successes
favorite stuff.
on 8 dice from Rashad. Dear
I got a
It's
crit.
my favorite.
God, man. Oh, and he had a messy crit on his too.
Or you got 7 with a crit.
Yeah.
Yes, 7 was a crit. God damn.
Y'all with the messy crits on this.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a messy crit.
It is.
Something special.
but-
Something special happens for me.
Passive rolls, I generally don't inflict things on people, mainly because this is just a knowledge thing. I really hate the concept of the beast manifesting. Yes, Gwen.
I have a lore sheet that whenever I get a messy crit, my beast sees something that I do not see and pick up on.
Aha.
Ah.
So I would like to have my beast here, please.
You for this one, you saw something. I will. That is a thing. Thank you for pointing it out. I will give you something extra from it. Rashad, from your knowledge, you don't think the stone type is as important as the fact that it was wedged there. You know that stones are used normally for one of 3 things, at least from the Tremere. They either use them to track people, to listen to a conversation, or to hide conversations from others. Pretty sure that you can guess the third one is not what it is. For you, Gwen, since your beast noticed something you didn't, let me double check one thing here. Seeing what you have. Your beast speaks in your head. That's a test. You were meant to find it. Would she put something somewhere else too? Learn. Never accept what's on face value. And then your beast goes
looking.
quiet.
Keep looking. There's something else. And I guess we all search the car. Or I'm searching. I'm assuming other people are too.
Yeah.
Oh, Rashad, will you sense the unseen? Don't think Scry the Soul helps with this.
Nope, that
but
would
I'll
be
do that
resolve
too
all
if I need
specs
to.
for Sense the Unseen.
I'm
Good
gonna
eye.
surge for this.
God, my rolls are sucking tonight.
Could I use heightened?
Heightened senses? Yes, I'll
yeah.
take that into account when you roll. If you want to roll for either Sense the Unseen or Wits Awareness, resolve all
Can I
specs
do-
if you're doing that.
Could I do wits perception?
Sure. Or no, I can't do Wits Perception. Actually, there is no perception.
Oh, sorry.
You can do
What,
Wits Awareness,
oh.
Wits Investigation. One of those 2 will work.
What I have? Oh.
4. That's not bad. Resolve off spec.
What about wit subterfuge?
Sure. Normally that's used for lying, but in this case, sure, why not?
Okay.
I try to be as fair as I can with what people get to roll for. So, Gwen, just burning that willpower again tonight.
I know. I was hoping for another messy crit from maybe something else, but I didn't get
6 from Gwen. That's the highest we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gwen,
Yep.
As you're searching around, you're kind of, based on your earlier roll with your messy crit, you're drawn towards the back of the car, and up under the bumper, you find on the back side of the bumper, and how it's kind of U-shaped, someone has wedged a bloodstone.
She'll like use her sleeve to like pull it out and not touch it, and show the rest of the group.
Well, Shud will tear a part of his shirt and then use that to pick up the stone on the front of the car. This is amateurish. It's a bit disappointing.
Unless they
I mean,
meant us to find it.
they meant us to find that one. They didn't mean for us to find this one, or they weren't sure anyway.
I mean, even for that, this is as bad as what I'd expect from a Puttanesca, to be honest.
They're testing us. They don't know anything about us.
Are there any markings on either of these that are distinct?
No, they look like they were tumbled. They're perfectly smooth.
All right, well, I'm going to get rid of this one. Hopefully they'll do better next time. And now you will toss it. You will toss it into like the nearby storm drain or something like that, not into the sewer.
Yeah, you're close enough to one because you weren't on the upper levels of the garage. Garage wasn't that heavily used right here.
Should we be tossing things into the sewers knowing who
Fuck them.
controls them?
If they don't want to help, fuck them.
I mean, they could use it to their advantage too. If they wanted to.
I just don't want to them using it to our disadvantage.
Well, where should we put it then?
We're not taking it with us. And literally,
I'm not
says, Gwen, drop the fucking stone. And she kicks it into the fucking storm drain.
I'm new here. I'm just asking what I
hate to say it. You tell Gwen to drop it and she throws it.
Okay. Because if you dropped it, she would have, Cat would have literally kicked it, like soccer kicked it right into the fucking storm drain. Go!
You throw it and it sails through the air and then slides across the ground, kind of breaks a couple pieces because it's not that strong of a stone. And the bits kind of slide up under another car in the garage.
Slides into a storm drain anyway. Sorry.
No, it ends up laying under a car in the garage. So you all fairly certain now that you found everything. I mean, you had a number of people looking and you set off. If it's a rental, that's fine. You'll have to return it another night or another time.
No, I can drop it off and drop the keys in the box.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you all are riding in the car and can have your talk.
Now that we left it behind, there's a chance that they were able to hear our conversation. There's also why I added that little bit about the Puttanesca at the end.
Was that the only reason you added it?
Well, I was disappointed. It was rather amateurish.
Like I said, they meant it to test us. I think that it was meant to be easy-ish. To see what we knew. What we would see. What we didn't see. Missed anything.
Yeah, that other one was a tracker.
But that doesn't mean if I don't think that would be the best they could do. Like you said, Rashad, it would be kind of a disappointment. So, guess we need to keep being on the lookout.
Well, regardless, I would say today was enlightening. Apparently, sorcery in general is not very common here at the moment.
On our side, anyway.
Also, they did mention that there's not much of a trade in boons in the city at this time. Does that mean there's no harpy or harpies here?
No, there are. We've been told about them. They're the community managers. We just don't know who any are.
Okay.
Or, I mean, I guess there could not be a community manager, but I don't think they would have given it a name if they don't have any yet.
I am concerned if they have a blood sorcerer and a necromancer on their side. I don't know what would happen if they were to work together. Most of the time, we don't really have the opportunity to learn each other's abilities. I never considered that we'd work with the Tremere, or the Tremere would work with us. But it could cause a problem.
I think the bigger... Sorry, Kat.
I was about to say, just add it to the list of problems.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the other potentially big problem is whatever Becky was alluding to as a thing in the city.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably what's causing their issues with their newly embraced Sabbat packs.
Probably pulling some strings.
Might be why their packs aren't bonding. They might be having trouble embracing. That would definitely be a reason that they would not want to have losses, because if they can't replenish their numbers from their losses.
And the offhand remark that Becky made about asking us if we have made any children yet.
Yeah. There's an issue with embracing.
I wonder if... what type of thing would cause problems with that?
I don't know.
Could that be a necromancer?
Would I have heard of anything like that in my limited time?
I mean, you know that bodies can be taken over by the dead, but when you embrace, they never actually die, because if they die, you can't embrace them. So the spirit's never broken free. A necromancer, it would be just as difficult to get one that's being embraced as it would be to get somebody who's already been embraced, which is notoriously difficult to possess.
Not that I know of, unless someone is somehow interfering with the moment of death in some way, or the near moment of death, which would be concerning.
Then maybe it's the other part of the equation, and it's a blood sorcerer. Who knows what all they could do?
Are there old enough blood sorcerers around? I was under the impression Tremere were relatively young.
Hard to say. And so many secrets.
Are there any Methuselahs that discourage or inhibit embraces? Either
Like any of us know that.
in their...
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't met any cousins that old. And I would prefer not to be honest. Well, regardless, our role still stays the same. We have to keep protecting what's ours until someone makes a move. Are you confident that your restaurant can handle a visit at its current state?
Well, I have 30 days to work on that.
I think Bella would be able to help too. I mean, boons aren't being traded, but it is a war. Any sign of weakness from any of us hurts them too.
Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think that she'll keep her word. She could attack tomorrow.
It'd be more likely that she would do 29 days rather than 30 days.
I think she will wait. If she knows who's reached out to us, I have a feeling I'll have a visit from Hideo first.
True.
I don't think he would take kindly to something happening to us before we can give our answer. I don't think she wants to deal with him.
Maybe that's something we can use to our advantage. Ask him to come back a few days after she's supposed to visit.
Was there a time frame that this Hideo had given you all?
No.
I think it would be safer for us not to interact with Mr. Hideo until he returns. If my read of him is what I think it is, he will not take kindly to either side attempting to manipulate the rules. There is a very fine line between following them and disrespecting them. But I imagine we will have a short time after he visits.
I mean, he's visited all of the counselors and they've been fine afterwards. I have a feeling that if it wasn't in a good faith negotiation on the other side to hold through if we disagreed, well, that's not really a negotiation. I don't know if he would have agreed to that to begin with. And I think that the counselors seeing him and having nothing happen as a result kind of shows that.
As long as we interact with him fairly, it should be okay. Katerina, you seem to know the most about the Sabbat. Is there anything we should be concerned about in the immediate term?
I want to use my first dot of my lore sheet, Storyteller.
Okay.
It is Sect War Vet.
Mm-hmm.
It says your domain or the domain of a vampire close to you was scourged during the Sect War. You can recount how the Sabbat and Camarilla strategized, how they warred in the city without alerting mortals, and the names of the fallen vampires caught in the middle. Once per story, you can ask the storyteller for a piece of information relating to the Sect War in your domain.
Okay. Now, in this particular case, this sect war was not in this domain, but I will let you use that as the same kind of concept. What kind of piece of information are you looking for?
Anything we should be on alert for.
You know from your own experience, someone like Becky, first of all, she doesn't get to be a bishop unless she does everything for a reason. She told you what she told you for a reason. And when uncertain, the Sabbat likes to use probes to ascertain things. So the pattern of leaving easily found things is part of the preliminaries. They're going to escalate, trying to see where your competence ends.
It's only starting, Rashad. Every little thing so far has been a test. We dealt with the body competently. We dealt with the stones competently. They're going to keep testing us to see where we fail, where our weaknesses.
Do we intentionally fail then?
It's something to consider. Lure them into a false sense of confidence. It's a tactic that can be used.
The problem is, I imagine with the harder tests, it's harder to show, it's harder to hide that you recognize it's there to begin with.
Right.
For example, those stones, if we had not gotten rid of them, they could have heard us discussing it.
Right.
Probably gets more difficult. But
But that assumes they will have the time to play their game. Sounds like the bishop is afraid of whatever is waiting in the dark. They may run out of time before whatever it is makes its move.
Well, I plan to go out with Bella. Fight some. They're going to get word of what I can do. Or at least what I show them I can do. Doesn't mean they're going to know exactly what I can do.
And as you're pulling up to your haven, the Coteries Group haven, I know Katerina's going to take this rental back. You all see there seems to be a small, well, it's obviously a small box of some kind sitting in front of the door, the side entrance to your building. It's wrapped with a bow on top. With looks like maybe a piece of paper stuck to it.
Since the unseen.
I'll use your earlier roll if you don't mind.
Sure.
There's no blood sorcery. It just appears to be a small wooden box. As you get close enough to get a good look at it, maybe rosewood. It's a decent box. Looks well made. The ribbon is tied in a bow, and the piece of paper is rolled up in like almost a scroll fashion, tucked through where the bow is, one of the loops of the bow is holding it in place.
With my heightened senses, do I get any strange smells or anything look strange about?
Or sounds.
Or sounds, yeah.
Wits awareness, give me that.
can we all do that?
Sure. You can always roll wits awareness. You can roll that when you're sitting in the bathroom in this game if you want. I love wits awareness.
Would my specialty in ambushes apply?
If you're looking for an ambush, sure. A nice roll so far. Wow. There's Cat's good roll.
Resolve, no, it's
7 from Cat. There's Cat's good roll.
Would
With a crit.
With a crit.
Would this in any way be an etiquette thing?
I will let you roll that.
And I have a specialty in kindred hospitality.
I will let you use that too. So you can hit the
as-
+1 at the bottom of the screen to use your, or where it says mod, you can hit +1 to give you an
Okay.
extra die for that. Let's see. 1,
Can I?
you can always
Right.
willpower it.
So that
You can hit the SP next to the willpower. Hopefully it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it says you have to have no save dice, so you have to roll manually 3, but otherwise
Okay,
you hit
then-
it and pick
Did
3
you
dice.
not see my willpower then?
I see willpower rolling 3 dice, it says, for
Okay.
Bo. Yep.
Okay. I hit SP and it brought up
Pick
a
3
little
of the
box.
black dice. Click
Okay.
on 3 of them. And it lets you re-roll it. There you go. Nope, still 0. Cat with a 7. With a crit.
Crit.
Just briefly, across the street from your place was you caught the glimpse in the shadows of a face peeking out at you. A face you recognize. Hideo just softly nodded to you before fading back into the shadows.
Check the letter. I bet it's from Hideo.
All right.
And she's looking
Well,
exactly where she saw Hideo.
God will unfurl the letter.
The letter says, apologies for leaving this here. It seems someone broke a matter of etiquette after I approached you, but we have not negotiated yet. They have been dealt with. Accept this as the gift. That's all it says, not signed.
I will open the box.
The box is full of ashes. And it has that
Well, this
residual
is-
that you know what the residual means. Those are kindred ashes in the box.
Oh, shit.
I think this is who left the body for us.
Pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure he didn't just ash Becky.
Right.
Not for being rude at an Elysium.
I mean, they did bug our car. That seems like that also would break etiquette to me.
Not enough for an assassination, but who knows? I've never really understood people who aren't too much older than me.
That's not
Shall we
dealing
go
with
inside?
bodies.
Y'all can go inside. I'll be back shortly. I'm going to go take this car back.
Did you want company?
Sure.
Kat, as you get in the car to drive off, your phone is ringing. It's your husband's number.
She picks it up before she backs out. What's up?
You free to talk a second, Kat?
Yeah.
There was a message left on the office phone. It's a disturbing message. They said they know what you are. They know what you've done. They want 25% of our income. Or they'll tell everybody.
Did they leave a name?
No, the message said they'll contact you after the letter arrives.
All right. I'll take care of it. Thanks, dear.
I thought you'd want to know. Love you.
Love you too. And she hangs up.
Bo asks if everything's all right, despite still having heightened senses on, probably hearing.
Yeah, hearing every word. Someone's trying to extort me.
To another day.
Yeah. Looks like I'm going to have dinner for a few nights. she pulls out.
And as Kat pulls off, I think right here, everybody, it's a good spot to end this particular episode.
So before we go, can I use premonition?
Go ahead.
What's that roll again?
It is resolve all specs.
Thank you.
Somehow I've memorized premonition's roll. I don't know why. Actually, a lot of all specs uses resolve all specs. Let's see what you get.
Okay, sorry.
A 3. For you, as you're looking into trying to feel the what might or might not happen. You see cameras everywhere, watching every movement. But your visions always involve less symbols and more objects. The cameras, they're not everywhere, but they are in strategic places. You catch glimpses of a hospital, glimpses of bars around the place, glimpses of a college dorm. And you catch a glimpse of one. You can't tell where it is. It's a basement of some kind. But for once, there's not an image of an object. You see a face. Face looking back to you as a shadowy figure comes up behind him. And the face looking at you is your brother's. And right here, everybody, we're going to end season 1, episode 4. First off, 2 XP for everybody tonight. By the way, some good rolls. Some people rolled well the whole time. Some people came in with 7 on a crit at the end.
Came in clutch.
I mean, there's, the dice giveth and the dice taketh away, right? Or the dice yeeteth and sometimes the dice yoinketh it away. You just got to deal with that. So I'd like to thank the viewers for watching tonight here on Twitch, viewers on YouTube. We're simulcasting to both. So I'd like to thank everyone who came out to watch it. Join us on our Discord. That is where we cast this show from right now. There are still technically 2 open casting calls. One is for an Old Gods of Appalachia game run by me, which will be run during the month of February. We don't know which week yet. No, sorry, the month of January, because February is where we're returning. So it'll be in January. We don't know if it's Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. That'll be determined by the applicants. I'll be closing that probably tomorrow because I'm going to take time tomorrow to check my applicants' availability. And if I've got enough already for a cast, we're going to close it. So it's your last chance to apply to be in it. I know Mama's going to be in it, so you'll at least get to play with me and Mama plus whoever else. We also have an open casting call for a Changeling game run by Maddox. And he hasn't decided his cast yet, so I can't tell you who's going to be in it. But it's going to be his storytelling debut on the channel. So, hey, if you like Changeling, there's your chance to apply for it. If you want to catch our back episodes, well, you can go over to our YouTube channel. If you're already on the YouTube channel, I guess you know where our back episodes are. If you want to see some Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, you got to go over to Ishvel's channel that is run by the amazing Tiss. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see a link to her in our channels panel and in our about, I'm pretty sure. So you have ways to see her there. If you want to see some amazing content creators, one of them right over here, Mischievous Red. Check out their channels there. We'll go around the table and let people talk about where they are. And of course, if you want you some McStabber Studios merch, go to our merch store. We will eventually finish our movie poster for this stream. We've just been real busy. I'm busy studying my CISSP, and Mama was busy finally getting her office cleaned up, which you would think it wasn't that rough to do. No, you're wrong. We had to move bookcases. We had to move. It was
an undertaking.
It was an undertaking. It was a multi-day affair to get the office cleaned.
It took a week.
Yeah. So that's what that is. If you want to support the players, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. It is a way for you, the viewer, to give something to the players. If you want to support the studio, you can subscribe here on Twitch. You can go to our KoFi. If on YouTube, you can join the community because we now have 2 different tiers for the community. All it gets you is emotes. And because we don't believe in hiding things and doing paying only content, everything is always free. But it gets you some emotes, and it gets you, for $10 a month, you can be Lord of the McStabber Studios carpet. You get to be Lord of a 1-inch by 1-inch section of carpet. No actual rights conferred upon the studio or the carpet. I have to say that just to make sure nobody thinks they own our carpet. And I think that's my part. My wife can give the schedule now. Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this Friday evening for Kansas City, A Domain Divided. And we're so glad that House is with us again. Yay! All right. So coming up over the next week, there will be no streams this weekend. Tiss had to cancel her Call of Cthulhu stream tomorrow. And she says she will be back next weekend. And because Shanky has to study for his certification exam, we are not doing a marathon Sunday. He needs to focus so he can try to pass that exam because it's a tough one.
CISSP is no fucking joke, people.
Yeah. So there will be no streams this weekend, but coming up over the next week, we have Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages. It is our V20 V5 hybrid game set in Transylvania in like 1250. Yeah. So join us for that. We're getting close to the end, y'all.
I sent them into the abyss of abyss mysticism.
Yeah.
Into an oubliette where they met the Umbrius man. And yeah, that is not a good place to be.
Yeah. The trauma.
I had fun with it.
But anyway, so join us at 8 p.m. Eastern Wednesday for that. And then, of course, we will be back here on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern with episode 5 of season 1 of Kansas City, A Domain Divided.
Halfway point next week.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've done some of the preliminaries, expect things to pick up a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You all need some trouble to make you work together a little better.
Yeah.
And you'll find out next week what that means. And I'm going to let people go around the table. Dale, we know you've already said you don't really have much else going on. But hey, D. Davis is on our Discord. Say hi to him. I'm going to tell you from my own experience, D. Davis is not just about hospitality in game. He's about hospitality in life. So say hi to him. And Ree, let people know where they can find you. Make sure you put your link in the chat. You know, that kind of thing.
Of course. Hello, everyone. You can find me on Twitch, where we are doing our We Are Heroes Cypher System story every Sunday at 9. Was it 9 o'clock? Yeah, 9 o'clock. So come and give us a look. We will not be doing it this Sunday, so now would be a good time to catch up on the other 3 episodes.
And I've played Cypher System with the old gods. That's a fun system. It really is. House, what you got going on?
Today dropped the new episode of the Fancastic 4 podcast, the #1 Fantastic Four fan casting podcast on the internet, presumably. Today we asked, what if John Carney, director of films like Once, Begin Again, Sing Street, directed a Fantastic Four film?
I've got to say, your dedication to every episode coming up with new people to direct Fantastic Four films is awe-inspiring, I got to say. Red, what you got going on?
I stream on my own channel. Generally, it'll be every Sunday. However, we're skipping this Sunday as well because I have a conference I'm going to. But I stream like creative stuff. Right now, I'm trying to write a visual novel. It's going. But yeah, we're cycling through creative hobby. So check out that.
Seriously, check out Red's channel. I've hung out when she's streaming and just chatted with her a bit. You even get to catch a glimpse of the cat Zoomy behind her because
I used to have a cat cam.
Yep,
and I need to set it up again.
Because the cat is officially the mascot of our Windy City stream because of the background zoomies as the cat ran in a cat wheel. You never saw it, but you could sure hear it on stream, which is why it became our mascot. And everybody, please, as always, when we end these streams, mental health. I want you to take mental health seriously. I want you to reach out to those around you, check in on people, make sure they're okay, because all it takes is a lifeline for a lot of people, someone to reach out to help them out. And if you suffer from mental health issues, first of all, as we're going into the holiday season, I want to tell you it's okay to not be okay. It's a tough time for a lot of people. It's a tough time. Hell, it's a tough time for anyone who works for the government, as we're afraid the government's going to shut down. So add that to the holiday stress. We're going to go into the holiday with a government shutdown. So check in on people, make sure they're okay. A lot of people aren't right now. If you suffer from mental health issues, reach out to your own support network. If you don't feel you have one, because I know that some people don't, right now in chat is a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a week. Yeah, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where you can get the help you need. There'll be a professional there to talk to you. And if you're not in the U.S., you can go to findahelpline.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, and findahelpline.com, you can put in your country of origin and find out the support network in your country, because mental health is health, and I want people to take care of themselves. I've lost friends to mental health issues, and it's tough. So make sure everybody's okay. Make sure you're taking care of yourself too. And now my wife can give her portion of it.
All right, y'all. If you haven't done so, get your shots. Get your flu shot, get your COVID booster. If you have not been COVID vaxxed, get vaxxed, because those who have been unvaxxed are the ones literally significantly at a higher rate getting admitted into the hospitals, being on respirators in the ICU. You need to get vaccinated, please. Also, thank you so much, everyone who turned out Tuesday and voted, and those who did early voting and those who did mail-in voting and all that stuff. Thank you so, so much. Okay. So much. Appreciate y'all doing that. There wasn't an election here where we are, but in other places I was watching diligently, and oh my God, so many people turned out.
We had it running on the TV the whole night to watch the results.
So impressed. Thank you. Big old heart to y'all. But make sure for the upcoming election in 2024 that you are registered. If you previously registered, and especially if you live in a Republican-controlled state, make sure you double-check your registration and verify that it's still active, because this election, there were at least two states that purged voter rolls. Yeah. Happened to Red here. I bet you're registered as a Democrat too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, election interference, blatant voter suppression. So, yeah, so please double check that and make sure that you are registered. And you'll want to check again as we are leading up closer to deadline for registrations for the 2024 election, because if you missed the deadline and you aren't registered, some states don't have same-day registration at the polls. So you need to make sure that you are registered so that you can cast your vote. And please, while the government is still open, call your elected federal representatives and tell them we need a ceasefire now.
We need a ceasefire and a budget. Both. They can do both, or they can urge the ceasefire. And you want to give financial aid to a country that has enough money to do it themselves?
They're doing it because they're backed by PACs that are funded by Israel.
Yeah, do it for attach the aid to a ceasefire. That encourages shit to stop going on. And I have to say, I have to tell people, call your representatives also. While you got them on the line to tell them about a ceasefire, tell them to pass a fucking budget.
Yeah.
This hurts more than just the federal workers.
It hurts millions.
It hurts the contractors. It hurts the military. It hurts the Border Patrol. It hurts all the federal agencies. It hurts the non-federal people that support federal agencies. Dry cleaners. It hurts the local businesses around any government facility. It hurts the food trucks, the food vendors that drive the food trucks that park their trucks outside of government buildings. They have nothing to do with the federal government. But when the government shuts down, they don't make money either. It has long repercussions to our economy. No one wins in a government shutdown. So please encourage, I agree, encourage a ceasefire and encourage him to pass a fucking budget. And if you're already calling them for those two, or encourage them to keep their hands off bodies that aren't their own. just stay out of that. Let people make their own health decisions, okay?
Yeah.
And I do thank you all for coming. And I'm having fun so far. I will see you next week. Good night, everybody. If I can find the button.